In today's Leeds news, Spence disagrees with release reasons, Deane says let Cooper go, Farke manager of the month, and Wober exit, but possibly not Gladbach. Morning folks, Ger here on Friday the 8th of March with your Leeds United news. Game day, big match tonight against Sheffield Wednesday. Myself and Andrew Dalton, LUFC Stats, did a match preview last night. You can check that out at the end of this video, or you can go searching through the channel pages and you'll find it in the live section if you want to check that out as well. There's not a lot to get through. We're going to crack on, we'll get into this, no mucking about, but there's been a few things. Jed Spence has been having a conversation with the Athletic and has brought up some of the reasons around Leeds and his take on what happened. Also, Daniel Farke, manager of the month as well, and some detail on Max Wober's permanent exit from Leeds United, but not necessarily where we thought he was going to go. So we'll get into this. We'll start off with Jed Spence. And Jed Spence has been speaking with the Athletic around the reasons that his loan from Spurs to Leeds was cancelled. It has been said that the major reason for the cancellation of the loan was down to his timekeeping, with one story going as far to say that the final straw was being late for a meeting with Daniel Farke to discuss his persistent lateness. The irony of that. However, Spence disagrees with this, and in the conversation with the Athletic, he basically says that the reasons are not true and that some of the issues have been blown out of proportion. What Spence said on the issue is the following: I don't think that it's fair at all. I don't necessarily agree with what's been said, but that's football. That's how it is. You have to keep your head down, keep going, and eventually prove people wrong. He went on to say, some of it's a bit blown out of proportion. You can be late once, and if you're not playing, it's a problem. But if you're playing and you're late, it's not a problem. Jed Spence appears to be accusing Leeds and Daniel Farke of double standards on that, but the rumour that came out of Leeds and the stories that have come out of Leeds are, it wasn't a case of being late once, it was persistent lateness that was the issue with Jed Spence, amongst other issues as well, being late for company events as well. He is currently playing in Italy with Genoa to pretty mixed fortunes over there as well. He's been playing left wing back, but he's been very much in and out of the side since he went there, and Spence reckons he has people to prove wrong, but I think the problem with Jed Spence is he's been trying to prove people wrong his entire career. I think if he just knuckled down and did the jobs, he wouldn't have to prove anybody wrong, you know. Get it right the first time, and you don't have to prove anybody wrong the second time. So, but yeah, he disagrees with what Leeds have said about the issue, about the thing. To be fair to Daniel Farke has been very polite on the issue. He did praise Jed Spence when he was asked about him in the press conference after Spence was released, and wished him all the best, said he was a good guy. So he's been very fair on the guy. I think Jed Spence is now just lashing out at possibly rumours that have been floating around. And, you know, stuff said on YouTube, probably by me as well. Anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Liam Cooper. And Brian Deane, ex-Leeds United striker, has been having his say on the player. And ex-Leeds United striker Brian Deane has said that he feels that if Leeds United get promoted, they need to let Liam Cooper go. Cooper is out of contract at the end of the season with Leeds United and is not expected to sign a new deal, which will wrap up a 10-year period he has had at Leeds United. Cooper did turn down a move to Saudi Arabia in the summer, a pretty lucrative move, and turned down offers from Blackburn and Stoke in January in order to stay with Leeds and to provide Daniel Farke with cover to try and help Leeds United to get promoted back to the Premier Division. Deane feels, however, that Cooper's effect on the pitch isn't good enough anymore and Leeds have to let him go. Deane does go on in the article to say that he has been an incredible servant to Leeds United over the years, but when the season ends, a conversation will need to be had, a deal will need to be agreed where everyone shakes hands and says goodbye. The thing with this for me is I would agree. I think Liam Cooper will leave at the end of the season. I think it's time to move on from certain players at the end of the year, but I think it's how we move on from them is important. We saw Luke Ayling get a fantastic kind of temporary goodbye when he went to Middlesbrough on loan. Liam Cooper has very much been a captain that has always been side before self, and it would be great to see Leeds handle his exit in a dignified manner and give the man the credit that he has deserved for a fantastic tenure over his time at Leeds United and a very loyal player to Leeds United. So hopefully that's handled in the right way. Moving on to some good news, Daniel Farke has been named the February EFL Manager of the Month. Farke now becomes the first Leeds manager since Don Revie to pick up 3 Manager of the Month awards in one season. He's got 2 back-to-backs now as well. Unfortunately, Ilya Groove just missed out on the Player of the Month award for February. But Farke picks up the award for an unbeaten February and what has been an impressive turn of the year for him for Leeds United. He only picked up 2 awards, I think, total at Norwich, 1 for each season that he got them promoted. And he's managed to pick up 3 in the one season for Leeds, which shows the job he's done coming back from Well, Leeds were 17 odd points behind Leicester at one point, now 5 points behind them, and could even be 2 points by this time tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And then finally today we'll wrap up with this story around Max Wober. There's been a lot of talk around Max Wober's exit, along with the other loanees and exiles or mercenaries, whatever we want to label them at. But there's been a bit of a twist in the Max Wober situation. His performances in Germany look to be helping Leeds United to get an increased price on the player and potentially make a profit on him that could offset some losses they might have to make on other players. We talked yesterday about Brendan Aronson and Leeds being willing to accept a loss. I think Leeds will accept a loss if they can fill the gaps elsewhere and make their money back with other sales. Reports in Germany from Gladbach Live claim that Gladbach wanted to make the deal permanent, but that Leeds having a chance of promotion now, and the fact that Gladbach have a tight financial situation, it appears that an exit could be Germany, but won't be Gladbach. A fee of £26.5 million has been said to be the pricing Wober out of a permanent move to Gladbach, but there are still multiple clubs in Germany who are very interested in the player, who has been in impressive form for Gladbach. I've been saying this all year on Loan Watch. Wober's playing really well. Gladbach aren't, unfortunately. According to Gladbach Live, they state that Gladbach are in crisis at the moment and are tumbling down the Bundesliga and could very easily be dragged into the relegation zone before the end of this season. Max Wober has been commented on several times as being a standout player for them and very much a player that they don't have a similar version of should he be out of the team. He has missed parts of the season with, I think it was a concussion he had at one point, and missed a couple of weeks of football, which definitely did have an impact on Gladbach. Wober himself has commented on Leeds this season, has commented on the style of football that Daniel Farke has been playing with the Leeds side and described it as cool football. The thing about Wober for me was Wober came back in the summer to Leeds, made a statement about staying here, helping Leeds to get back into the Premier League, and I think within 2 weeks was gone. He did the photo shoot, came back in after his international break, did the photo shoot with Leeds United, and within a couple of days the player had decided, actually no, this isn't for me, and he's left. He has been talking quite positively about Leeds now that Leeds look like they're heading back towards the Premier Division, but Daniel Farke, I think, has made it very clear that the players that left on loan and looked to go on loan and used their loan clauses won't be welcome back to the side, and he plans to move on from those players. Leeds looking to sell Wober for around 26.5 million. I think Leeds paid 12 million for the player at one point, so Leeds could make a healthy profit on him, but again, a lot of that will depend on Leeds' position. If Leeds get back to the Premier League, all of a sudden Leeds are in a much stronger position financially to dictate where these players go and for how much. You've seen it with the likes of Robin Koch's situation and we've talked about with Bettis and Mark Roca as well. Clubs trying to get deals done before the end of the season, so they take that power away from Leeds and get the deals wrapped up. Leeds seem quite happy to let that happen as well if they can get the fee in and around what they're looking for these players. So some are already gone, some more will go. I think we'll expect between now and the end of the season to hear an awful lot about these players and where they're going to head, and permanent exits away from Leeds United. As I said, folks, myself and Andrew Dalton did a preview to tonight's game against Sheffield Wednesday. You can check that out down below. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, we're just off 26,000 now as well, so you can do that by clicking the button down below there as well. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Fingers crossed for 3 points, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with a match review of the game tonight. Have a great day. Talk to you then.